I'm remorseful about my own country and its continued perpetuating of violence and injustice.
Everywhere is war. Miss a war.
Hi, I'm Ed Kinane from Syracuse, New York, and I have with me today Anne Grady Flores from Ithaca, New York. Anne and I, and many others from across New York State, but also other states, have been doing direct actions in front of the main entrance of Hancock Air Base, in which we do often dramatic scenarios that are colorful, that are trying to expose the war crimes being committed at Hancock Air Base using their robotic drones. There have been well over 100 arrests over the years and a number of trials. And Anne is particularly significant in this campaign because her trial has gone all the way to the New York State Court of Appeals.
As we are confident in the victory of good over evil, good over evil, yeah.
Anyway, the subsequent action was on an Ash Wednesday. There were 8 people that had decided, 8 Catholics and one Quaker Catholic, that participated in blockading the gate. And while they were out there, I had told folks beforehand that I was not going to participate because I had the threat of a criminal contempt charge, which would have been a misdemeanor. I would have faced a year in jail. So I said, I am not participating, but you can call me when you're done getting your charges and I will pick you up at whatever police station was. And because I do press, I went over to take pictures. The 8 participants, the 8 protesters that were there to say, because it was an Ash Wednesday event, they were saying, for killing the children, God forgive us. That's what their signs said. So it was like a litany. And they also sprinkled ashes across the crosswalk, just as a symbolic line saying that we don't want the killing of innocent people. Many war crimes are happening as a result of these drone strikes. So anyway, back to the case. I took photos. I was on the side of the street of the protest. The police came. I crossed back over. And by the way, all the protesters were out beyond the white line. They had the ash line. I was out beyond the ashes. So basically, my back was up against the traffic. Little did we know that later I learned when I was taken away in handcuffs that I had violated my order protection by being on the wrong side of the street. I had crossed the double yellow line in the middle of the road. Subsequent to a trial, the jury found me guilty of violating this order, and the judge sentenced me to the full year in jail. That case has gone before the county court judge Miller in Syracuse. So anyway, the case went before the county judge Miller. He upheld the lower court's decision. He lowered my sentence to 6 months. So I began the 6-month sentence. I did a total of 56 days in jail while my attorney was bringing it to the New York State Court of Appeals, which is the highest court in New York State. The court only gives our attorney 10 minutes to argue. And it turns out that there was a little glitch, a little paper glitch, where the attorney taking an appeal out of the little tiny town court has to accompany the appeal with something called an affidavit of errors. My sentence was no longer 6 months, but back up to the year. And so we're waiting now.
The irony here for me is that the Reaper drone at Hancock Air Base is being used overseas to kill women and children.
That's right.
Talk about predators.
Right. And it's called a Predator drone.
It's called the Predator. It's called the Reaper. Made by the same manufacturer.
And so we know that up to 90%, we know that 90% of the victims of drone strikes are people that have nothing to do with anything. The terror that we rain on other countries through the use of our drones is actually causing more terror on those communities, those countries.
Now, terror is, according to the U.S. State Department, the use or the threat of use of violence against civilians. Now, that describes perfectly the role of the Reaper drone in U.S. geopolitics, in the U.S. empire.
And I'm so grateful that I can be a part of the many people that have been on trial. I see Bonnie Mahoney, who's a grandma, and so many other people here in this room who have been in jail, who've done the witness, and we invite more to join us. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.